Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. With our hearts uncovered, where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can't be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's an art tool. Reflect on all the Jews like taught you. It's on you, tell the truth.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly with Unseen Twisted Truths. We are the People's Podcast, and we have my own co-host, Henry.
What's up? How's it going, everybody?
And then we have Sub to Pro, and then we have also Antonio Carlos.
What up, though?
Nice to meet you.
Listen, I'm about to say this. It's the first time all of our guests have been on at the beginning, and we could hear them all at the beginning. And
that's good.
Usually there's a problem. Would Joe say can't hear us?
Oh, I'm with it. I'm here.
I'm just saying that's the first time that we've had everybody where they can hear us, and they're all on point.
No, that's why I was that's why I was clapping. Congratulations. For
it's a good thing.
All blessings, silver linings, for real.
That's real cash money stream card.
So we're gonna let the world know about Antonio Carlos.
Antonio Carlos, I'm kind of like a hip hop chef with our own media company, and I do a little bit of everything. I'm the gift. I'm the jack of all trades, master of none. You know what I'm saying? But basically, I like to cook and give to people because giving to people brings a pleasure to me. And that's about the bottom of it.
I fuck with that.
Yeah, cooking, that never goes out of style.
And the giving part is the fact that you said that you like giving and what it do for you. That's the part that got me. I mean, it's always good doing what you love to do, but the fact that you compassion in it that's top notch right there.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was about to say too.
And there's needy people that need to eat for sure. That's one of our human needs.
Right. And then, not only when I cook, it don't even seem like a job. Sometimes I think I'm cheating because that's what like you said, I love to do that. And, it just free my mind too,
Yeah.
That feels good when you got the cheat codes on. When you find something you love doing and it ain't work to you.
Man.
I know people like builders and craftsmen, it's like backbreaking labor, but it's like, man, what's up? Look at it when it's done,
I can appreciate that too. But me working in the medical field for so long, I did it because I didn't feel like a job to me. So I can appreciate what you're talking about. I like the fact though that you're staying humble though, because most people when they're on a path of themselves, they tend to forget where they came from and to stay humble.
Right. Oh yeah, that's the first rule. You always got to do that. Stay humble because just as quick as you can get blessed, you can get that blessing can go away and within seconds.
Thanks.
So remaining humble is a number one factor with me continuing, and with anybody. It ain't just me. Anybody that's blessed beyond regular blessings, they have to stay humble because if they don't, the universe will show them. I'll take that away from you. You feel me?
It has a way of checking you real hard when you're not checking yourself, doesn't it?
And not only that, it got like he said, it like some of the best things to happen to you is it seemed like punishment, but it's actually saving you from yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Hard lessons, still lessons. When did you get started with cooking, Antonio?
Shit, I've been cooking basically, boss, since I was a child. For real, my grandma taught me. She taught our whole household. You know, I had one of those grandmothers that she was big on learning how to do stuff for yourself because you ain't gonna always have a woman around to do it, or me or her. You know what I'm saying? So when I was 9 years old, I learned how to like iron my clothes and stuff like that to be more self efficient and not uh dependent upon other people. You know
I,
what I'm saying? So yeah, so that was a skill I learned as a child coming up.
not a lot of people do that so much anymore. I realized. Yeah.
Well, some things over time become unnecessary. It never ever go away. It's always a group of people somewhere. It's always a culture that keep old traditions alive and pass things down to the next generation. You can see it in movies. Like I grew up with '80s cartoons, and a lot of them is CGI movies now. So it's like it should get passed down. And even if it don't, if we don't allow ourselves to get stagnant in how society is ran, you always gonna look to better ways of doing things and more efficient ways and more natural and spiritually oriented ways to do things instead of just the most convenient way or what's been
Right,
what's worked for everybody else.
right. This right.
That's I like that a lot, Joe. Like education never quits. Like, and that's what it
But
is. Being humble too is if you're a total asshole all the time,
that
you're
it's
cut
all
people
tied
off.
in. You see how that worked, Henry? It's all tied in. He said staying humble is at the forefront. If you don't stay humble, you won't take lessons in. You think
Right.
I'm a perfect example of thinking you know it all and missing out on somebody's opinion, missing out on a different way of looking at things. So for my 40th birthday,
Yeah,
I gave myself the gift of you don't know shit. Shut the fuck up and learn something, bro.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People mistake
You
being
know,
humble as weakness. Sorry, can
you
like,
no, you're okay, babe. You're okay. No, because they do, honestly.
go
You're
arrow.
right. You're right, they do. What I was gonna say though, me being a single mom and not having a father figure in, I felt like I had to be double adequate enough for my son because he was lacking one. I don't think any woman, and I don't care who likes it or doesn't like it, I don't think any woman should raise a child without their father involved, regardless. I think they need both. I think that it gives them stability, it gives them balance. I think that what one can't do, the other one will give, especially if you raise it a son. I'm not less than the fact that if you have a daughter, I'm just saying, nonetheless, they should not raise it by themselves because what you feel and what you believe and what your agreements upon and your perception of life, you're pushing that upon your child and making them believe that. And what if the father has another
Yeah,
idea? What if he sees things differently than you do? And it gives your child more of a broader aspect of both parents than just one person. And that's how generation curses get broke. I think, honestly, I think both parents have to be in a home, not to stay in the home, but at least be in the child's life to equally raise that child.
I will give you this.
yeah,
If the child get to see both parents from early on, they can make up their own mind about a lot of stuff better than a kid that only grew up with one.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
you won't get biased
yeah,
towards, like, if you stay with your dad, you're going to get biased towards his ways, and your mom going to seem foreign. If you grew up in a single mom, is you got poisoned against your dad in a lot of different ways. TV it make it like the single black dad is non-existent, like it ain't even real. And
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, it go back to what you were saying, because like a mom shouldn't have to raise a kid, but every situation ain't the same. And I know
yeah,
moms that might not can't raise a man by themselves, but they wasn't slacking on their job and they did their damnedest to raise
No,
their sons the right way.
I'm not even saying that. Like I work.
No,
Three
I'm
jobs
not
and
disagreeing
everything.
with you at all. I'm in total agreement. So
Okay.
off the rip, like I said, I will give you that's the main thing that we deny kids is decision making abilities. Our generation has said, "Do as I say, not as I do," and that's real like fucked up for a kid. You not really learning how to make decisions for yourself if you waiting for a dictator to make them for you.
Oh yeah.
And this
Right. But
is called perception. So this podcast is called perception.
Right.
Now think about that.
Right.
How you
One
feel,
thing,
how the next person feels may not be proper because we all have different perceptions on what we're doing is right.
But what you
right,
said,
but I feel like he got a good point. But I'm gonna say this, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the law of the universe. That's how the earth was created through divine feminine and masculine energy.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? And it trickles down to the family, to father figure and my mother figure raising the child. You know what I'm saying? It has to. That's just the laws, and somewhere along the way, like he said, you know, single fathers is unheard of. You know, and like we need to get that balance back because along the way we lost it. You know what I'm saying? We lost it along the way, and like you said, it's important for. It's very important. So a little male can learn how to you know what I'm saying, tap into both. Because at times you're gonna need to be emotional. At times you're gonna need to be masculine. You know what I'm saying? So
and on top of that, you don't have nobody telling you about the other parent. You getting to see from your own eyes what kind of person your parents are, instead of your dad saying, "Well, your mama was this raggedy ass bitch," and your mama saying, "Well, your daddy ain't shit. You just grow up poison to your parents."
Guys, I gotta tell you,
there's one thing though. I appreciate the fact that I never once told my son anything bad about his dad. I always said to him, "You'll find out on your own when you meet him." So, I never once said nothing bad about him. And to this day now, my son can accept his dad in with open arms when his dad comes up to him without this hatred that don't belong to him that I put upon him.
That's really important for families to do that, to move on. And even if things don't work out, too many people, too many exes, too many I hate my ex, I hate my this, I hate that. That is going on. There can be amicable ways for families to even split up. I think this is why communities are important, and educating kids, especially homeschooling kids to think for themselves, is important. My dad tried to fill my head with all these ideas about how women were and shit, and he was wrong about a lot of shit, you know, about who we dealt with and stuff. And I had to figure out a lot of stuff on my own. I like the fact that you can say that emotions are gender neutral. This is coming from a son bitch wearing makeup and trying to look as cute as I can in this podcast here. I absolutely teach you can be whatever you want, but be self-sufficient. Like I can make beautiful makeup from stuff in the woods while I build my survival shelter, and I feel good about that. We don't teach kids to do shop or do anything like that anymore. It's all focused on how you look and how everybody's perceive you. If we're going to stick to perception, you know, we can perceive violent video games as something you can do or not.
With the word, Henry, I am interrupting you on purpose.
It's okay. You probably should.
Well, no, I want you to continue, but just for one moment. What the word of perception means, it's your ideal, how you see it. I'm not even saying I'm not saying what the ideal of this is the matter of factly and this is how it's supposed to be, because perception is huge. It's huge. My reality is different than your reality.
It's like, that's what I was going to say. The last thing was video games. We perceive video games. I grew up playing violent ass video games, watching Pulp Fiction and shit. My parents kind of helped me facilitate the understanding between fact and fiction. Some kid plays a video game and no one teaches them to write those rules or has any prior learning. They might go out and beat someone to death with a baseball bat and try and steal money and steal their car and shit. I never had the inclination. Sometimes, no. But you know what I'm saying? You know, that's how it works. I mean,
so I love the fact that when I raised my son, I was able to teach him to go climb a tree and hunt and fish and frog on whack and sew. and cook, follow directions, and do his own laundry, and keep his room. Well, he's half clean as a boy, but I mean, when I had to do it, everything went in the trash. But at the end of the day, I taught him though, that to look good for you and be good for you inside and outward. I never once put any of my agreements upon him because it wasn't fair to me, because I was breaking generation curses because it was already instilled into me. And I didn't like it.
The Marines don't accept women to do laundry. Dudes have to be self-sufficient, and that's one of the first. Like, dude, I went to boot camp in Oakland County. It was based off the Marine shit, and they was like, if you missing a button, we ain't fixing that. You better tighten it up or you getting PT. If you got a rip in your clothes, you better sew that bitch shut or you're getting PT.
That's what's up. I bet you still make your bed.
Your mama ain't here. Your grandma ain't here. That girl you let fill out your applications all the goddamn time. She ain't here. Is you, your hands, and your mind. What the fuck you gonna do with it?
And that's what I think this world's gotten so relaxed and so lazy on, that they forgot that, how it was to grow up. We just figured, okay, we passed the whole stage already, and now we're adults. Now that's what's important. No, it's not, because we're all just growing up child. So we have to go back to that age because we are pushing this upon other people.
Looking at how shit, I think we too hard on ourselves, because I like to think that our parents, when we were kids, we looked at our parents as grown up. But now that we see how the game is as an adult, they weren't that grown.
They weren't.
No,
and on top of that, they were hypocritical. Like a lot of the younger the generation after the 80s babies, starting with the 90s babies going on into the 2000s, they're not about to hide who they are.
No.
They're not about to lie who they are. They're not. I mean, it's like bullying is still a thing, but it's not nearly what the fuck it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
A lot of they call this generation stupid, lazy, and all kind of crazy shit, but without trying, they've broken generational curses that we refuse to change.
The only thing I think about this,
you're right.
The only thing I think about this society in this generation is that we became too relaxed and too sensitive. Because imagine being that relaxed and that sensitive back in the 40s and the 50s.
I think that's the thing though. I look at shit like All in the Family, and people act like cancel culture or crazy ass shit that shouldn't be said on TV just started happening right now. Like, when Elvis first came out, white people were not excited with that. They kids listening to that dude.
No, he was the devil music there.
Right. He all gyrating his hips on TV and at 7 at night. They like, what the fuck really good with this shit?
I know, I'm trying to put all the
generation. It happened to everybody after that. So I don't care if you mad at Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion for WAP, when Clarence was talking about I be stroking before I was alive. Rick James.
That's funny, man.
Rick James shit, yeah.
I'm saying, go back and listen to Rick James' album. He was talking like a straight up pimp on that bitch. That wasn't just no. He got a song say, "Who are you? What's your name and number? Who do you belong to?" Like, that ain't how you pick up no female. That's how you pick up a trick.
Pick up a trick, yeah, no shit. Pick up some syphilis.
Like, I really don't care who your boss is. You coming with me.
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
They love Rick,
singing, but he was singing it over bass and a nice guitar riff, so nobody really cared. He said, he's saying, "Give it to me, baby." Jay-Z and Pharrell sampled it, so who's nasty?
I mean, remember the Yin Yang Twins thing? Wait, what was he whispering in your ear? I'm fucking like
That's what I'm saying, but it had to come from somewhere.
mm-hmm.
It
Right.
we just made up cuss words in the 90s, in the 80s. We like Dr.
You
Dre
can
taught
go
us how to
further
cuss.
back though. You can go further back though, Joe. Go way back. Go all the way back before that even happened. It's been going on from, if we're going to say the Roman times, even the Catholic priests and stuff.
And
Right.
It was okay to have pictures of a grown man holding a baby's penis as a sculpture.
Wow.
You feel me?
Real?
Yeah, that's real. Like, like I don't even want to touch on Roman. I told my mom, I was like, it's funny how the world can look at Muslims. Just after the past 20 years, we can look at all Muslims like terrorists and know what Christianity and Catholicism has done since the beginning of time, and they don't get looked at nearly as bad.
There was some dark times back then.
And that's
It's some dark times all the time with Catholic niggas. What the fuck?
Crazy.
Yes, sir.
They
That
burned zero
Muslims
witches.
has the highest turnover rate and the highest suicide rate out of any religion in existence. People don't even try to find another God after they Catholic. They just stop believing.
And that's where perception plays a role, though, because back then, if you spoke on shit, they'd hang you.
So I could drop a bomb on this and just say, would they release
you talk
Tropic
about
Thunder
things not
today?
being real, and that you see you can create things, and that you can stop. You can create things, and you can stop the wind from blowing in the trees and stuff. You say that now, they'll think you're crazy. You say that back then, they'd hang you. That's when perception kicks in.
I just talked to somebody
That's
today.
what Jesus was on that. Hey,
if you look at
Jesus was on that type of stuff.
If you look at any generation of any form of entertainment for its time, it was way too much. Way too much. So that's why it is the way it is now. You go from All in the Family to Roseanne to Shameless.
Yeah. Two Broke Girls, that's mainstream. How about that? That's pretty raw for mainstream.
Right, but I'm saying though, like when I first seen the commercials for Shameless, I'm like, how is like it looked? The advertisements look pretty boring, but when I actually saw it, it was like this got to be what crack feel like.
You know, Frank reminds me of my mom so much I can't watch it.
That's no different than the cartoons they have out anyhow. But I'm just saying, like, I really wish people would just wake up and see how fucked up this whole world is, and everybody in it's a little fucked.
They do, and that's why they run from themselves. Don't think that people are just oblivious to the fact that they're fucked up, the world's fucked up. Is that a lot of people feel like it ain't nothing you could do about it by yourself. So why even try?
That makes a difference. It starts with you. People would fix themselves and be more mindful of self and not worry about the next.
How about Antonio cooking for people?
But that's where all that stuff was created for a person to take their attention off himself.
Yeah.
Because we are like powerful people, you know, beings. We are powerful. We can do a lot, you know. But if you so concentrate on who a Muslim, what this say, let's watch this. You taking away from going within yourself and figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key. Everything out here right now is designed to take the focus off of you.
Exactly.
For you to concentrate on that, so you won't be able to elevate. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, like everything that's created is meant to distract us. All that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's meant to distract us, divide us.
Of course.
You know, it's meant to do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if a person ain't conscious enough, you won't even see it. It'll be too late.
You know
what I'm saying?
You know what people are afraid of, and I've been wanting to say this, but I don't know the proper way to say it where I'm not touching people that are sensitive, because I know I'm going to say something. Just please, just know it's out of discernment when I do speak. But anyhow, People come together for violence, but they don't show unity to help grow. Now, if you were mindful of yourself and helped others and only put yourself out there to help others in positive lights, that's where unity comes in. But people only want to unify when it comes to fighting or drugs or sex or whatever else. That's when they feel that it's time for them to step in and do something.
With great power, great responsibility. So doing the right thing is always going to seem like a hassle to the natural. It's just too much. I feel like I already know how my story gonna end, because it's like I'm not just gonna bow to how society is set up. I don't care on what level.
Right.
No, it's not right. It's not
Right.
But
right.
For the next person, and every time, like bro said, it's the distractions that allow you to look yourself and stay fixing, correct, maintaining, empowering, and bettering that. That's the only going to change the world. It ain't by telling people what to do. And even if you're an example, they don't have to follow you.
They don't.
They don't. Right.
It's for you to be, because that's what you are here for. That's it. People like my mom.
Hey, and look,
watch 1408 because she didn't get it. And I watched the movie. This is like a 90s movie, and I'm watching it for the first time. And I'm like, I've seen the end of it, and basically, spoiler alert, it's like he had to went to the room with all the shit he ran away from.
You're going in and out, Joe.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a good adaptation.
Yeah.
That's a Stephen King book too.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, people don't deal with themselves. They want to get in a relationship before they deal with themselves.
Right.
They want to get a promotion at a job that they don't even really like. They want to like fit into a group of people that they can't stand to be around.
It's Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid on a fractured arm.
Hey, bro, that's crazy because, a lot of people is followers. They don't know how to be like independent thinkers. And in the whole keeping it all the way 100, somebody else is doing the thinking for them. You get what I'm saying? Because they subconsciously and suggest. You know what I'm saying? It's just like your cell phone. You could go search something and they'll suggest, and then eventually people start seeing and following an idea. You get what I'm saying? And like people ain't really independently thinking for themselves.
They don't want them,
like
though.
You say,
they don't want them to. The government
like you say, that relationship there to you know what I'm saying, to distract you, to try to follow the norm. Everybody's following the norm, but don't realize that wood over their eyes at the same time. You get what I'm saying? Because there's so much stuff going on right now, and if you're not conscious and paying attention, and then they got guys like me and you that tell them, they look at us like we crazy, or like us on this podcast, for example, that bring the truth. Because they so used to the lies, that they comfortable with it. So when you bring the truth, they get offended by it. Like, man, like for real. But I'm gonna say this,
Here, go ahead.
All I'm gonna say is, I only could do that for so long. I gotta go focus on myself. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So when people ain't grasping on to the ideas, you know what I'm saying, to the change of that's what it is. We so used to what we used to that we don't want to feel uncomfortable. You get what I'm saying? And when you suggest something that's uncomfortable to a person, they rebel. You not just rebel, but they be like, get on with that. You know what I'm saying?
They want in a different
But in all
way.
actuality, you're really trying to help somebody out.
They got everybody complacent. They're so happy with the technology and certain things that we have that it's a vicious cycle where, well, taking back our power would be a damn cool thing, wouldn't it? But man, I love Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? Like they got hit by the balls on that issue. They really do.
Well, listen to this.
They can't afford anything either to fight.
So listen to this. This guy said, and I'm not going to say who, because actually, one, I don't remember, and two, I'm not going to give clout to somebody else anyhow. That doesn't mean nothing to me. But this guy was performing. He's a big performer. He's at the concert, and he says to them, anytime you listen to one of my songs or any concert you go to of mine, and this is a sold out concert, and he did a tour. And I believe all his were sold out. And he said, every one of my concerts you come to and every one of my songs you listen to, you worship the devil because I gave my soul to it. Now, he may be lying, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he's speaking the truth. Because if you accept that and you follow him and listen to him and sing his words and listen to his music and his vibration at the hertz that it's playing it and stuff, he's doing all that for a demonic reason. He already told you. They laughed and they cheered and they clapped him on and everything. And they're not realizing that what he's exactly saying.
This is the biggest conundrum about this time in the world is that we're in the age of technology, yet we still can't see behind the smoke and mirrors. I don't get that shit. Like, I thought the cliche was, if you knew better, you do better. We know better. And if we don't know better, we got something in our hands and not far away from us that we can look up whatever in the fuck we want to find out how to change what the fuck you're doing right now. I think more so than people being brainwashed, more so than people being programmed. The minute you start going into the minute you start breaking away from the norm, you start looking, smelling, talking, walking different, and the zombies can see that you're not one of us anymore.
Facts.
So you don't want to stand out, so you keep mumbling and keep walking in the crowd, but you're not happy. Nobody on Facebook that ain't, it's people that get paid millions of dollars to keep us fighting over gender wars, politics, all kind of crazy shit. They're not happy, but they're probably more happier than the vast majority of people on Facebook sharing what they ate when nobody cares. Talking about who they're dating and how much they love them, when in real life that shit sucks dick the wrong way.
What are you trying to be a content creator with your shitty Swanson meal? You know what? That's mean, but I don't know. It makes sense, Joe. I get that.
Look, I'm just lucky to be eating. If I show ramen noodles, I'm gonna get talked shit about, but I'm full. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you talking about.
Listen, I'm gonna go back to a time. I'm gonna go back to the time where it says that what was it? Sometimes science. I'm gonna go back yeah. Sometimes science says he's talking on one day on a podcast or on his Facebook about posting some plant-based cooking and saying that he's glad that he stopped eating all that meat because he feels a little better trying this, and this plant-based is a better alternative. This girl said she got so upset and went off on him because he posted about plant-based cooking, and she was like, well, that's not good for you either, and you're putting this in your body and this in your body and this in your body. And he was like, but you're going to believe everything science says, because she's telling scientifically. And he's like, so you're going to believe everything science says? She says, well, sometimes I'm going to believe what science says. What the fuck? That's like, sometimes I want to breathe.
And you know,
That's what we all. That's what a lot. I'm not gonna say we all. That's what a lot of people have grown to do in this generation, in this society, is that we're not researching a fight. We're not backing up how we feel with facts. We just feel, and that's what's real to us. That's why we're here today on this podcast, because of perception. I can't tell you how to feel. So if you're gonna argue how you feel over everybody else's reality, there's nothing else I gotta say to you.
Oh no. You know what? Look up a fight video on Facebook, like just any kind of fight demonstration video, and then go right to the comment section. Too many people are like that comment section. And we have to go back to being humble because of that. Because like everybody's fighting on Facebook, like you say, and they're pitting you against each other and stuff. And that's where being humble comes in, and learning. And instead of saying, maybe I am wrong. Hold on.
Not even just humble, just being more mindful of self. Just be yourself. Separate yourself from others and be yourself. Be a version of a human and become the person you're supposed to be. Be yourself. Stop trying to be like so-and-so. Stop trying to, and people will say, and I'm saying this because people will say the reason why I got locks and stuff because I want to be like somebody. No, not at all. I got locks for me, and through my locks, I grew and evolved, and they became ethers to me because I've learned what they really were to me. Not because somebody else or I want to look like a certain race or I want to act a certain way. I am too much me
that's funny
about what others think of how I look.
Right.
Exactly. You keep doing that, you're going to end up killing your damn self.
And I don't want everybody to be like me, and I'm not telling everybody what they should and shouldn't do, because who am I to say what you should and shouldn't do? Do what's right for you, but once in a while, make sure it's for you. Not because so-and-so said so. Because who is they? Joe, who is they?
Right.
Who is they?
That's exactly it. When somebody say, well, they say you just lost a listener when it come to me, because like I don't know who they is. That ain't like, you can't do that in the English when they say cite your sources. My source is they. The fuck you mean?
Who is they? I love it. I am he who is called I am.
They say a rose by any name, a rose by any other name is just as sweet. No, Shakespeare said that, not they, motherfucker. Like, say who the fuck said, and that's what it goes back to.
It goes back to that.
I've been guilty of
fighting off. Are you fighting? Like, mature people don't even argue because they know that the person that they're arguing with is fighting a feeling. They're not fighting reality. That makes you kind of delusional. And to join the circus makes you a fucking clown.
For facts, another word I don't like is you all. I want to know who you all is, because when I look at me, I honestly see one person. I may hear another voice inside my head or two, but at the end of the day, I really only see self. So who is you all?
Like y'all?
I get it, you all.
I have had to detach myself from that shit because I detach myself from the world, and I can't act like I'm not human and I'm alien. I was born here. I bleed. I breathe. I'm one of y'all. It's just that when I would get angry, I feel very alone in the way that I think and feel. I don't feel like anybody else feels like me. And I know that for sure. Nobody feels like me all the time. So when I'm talking from a place of hurt, I use y'all.
I wasn't pertaining to you, though.
I use y'all a lot. It's gender neutral. It's fun and jovial.
I don't like it, and I never had. Joe's known me for a few years now. Joe, I don't like that. I always will say I don't like that you all thing, because at the end of the day, I promise you, I'm like nobody else.
That's the thing, is perception. But that's what I'm saying. You're looking at it by the fact that you're singular. I'm looking at it from the fact that I'm singular. We're not looking at it collectively from the fact that we are all singular together.
Yes, facts. I love this.
Right.
And I am Legion. No, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
Seriously.
Too many people believe that.
People put people in a hole, but when it comes to unity, you don't fit in that hole. People put people in a hole, but when it comes to helping one another, you mind your own business. You ain't about that. When that guy outside the store says you got $5 or you got $1, people will walk by because get a job or do this and then ignore it or whatever because they're not a part of that. But when they want something or they're speaking in themselves to better themselves, it's all of a sudden you're all. But you're not a you-all. You've never contributed as a you-all. You're not putting yourself in that you-all category all the time, but sometimes science. That's what I don't get. I don't get that sometimes. It's only convenient when it's convenient for you. If you're going to do it all the time.
Then that's what it is.
And not only that, when somebody do that, you know what I came to the conclusion of? That is actually they self that they not in agreement with when they say y'all, because it's a characteristic that they have in they self that they don't like. You get what I'm saying? So they can do it and try to alienate you.
He said a million right there, because that right there, what he just said is the exact definition of projection. What I'm trying to get rid of out of my very fucking soul and bones. Like, dude,
that's what he just said.
Feel bad about yourself.
It's come from a place of self and hurt.
Right. I heard him, and that's what
that's what you said. I'm saying that's what you said.
Yeah. I'm talking about what he said. Like, don't. I'm right there. I'm just right there with him, because
it's the same thing.
It's all universal. You can't it like, if you know, you know.
Everything is me and I am everything. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And you know, you can always I always tell people, you know, you shouldn't talk about nobody or judge nobody, because I guarantee you that same judgment can be placed upon you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't get how like, and I'm not gonna keep attacking Christianity and Catholicism, but they first rule, just like a gangster's first rule is to not snitch, they first rule is to not judge, and both of them break the first fucking rule.
Facts.
You're not supposed to talk about Catholic. No. We broke the first rule. It is judgy. Yeah, we're all judge people. That's what we do with that judgment.
You know what? You know, a lot of things that I have been discovering as of lately. Everything is meant to destroy, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? It's meant to bring me down. If I grasp hold to it, you get what I'm saying? Whether it be a cup of coffee, it can be as little as 2 packs. Like look what we're going through right now. We finding out even the words that we speak was meant to, you know what I'm saying, to like dig a deeper hole for us, because the things or how we pronounce them ain't really the right way to pronounce it. And I believe, like they say, we be casting spells on ourselves.
Exactly.
In the language.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying about that guy at the concert. He said you are putting spells on yourselves by listening to what I'm saying, because you're repeating my words, knowing that I'm worshiping the devil. And you still come and sell out my concert. You still buy all my tickets, and I guarantee you my next concert is going to be sold out too. But yet, if I say it's the devil, you'll condemn me. But once I speak it into a song and make you chant those spells, you'll condone me.
I mean, have y'all ever heard of Ozzy Osbourne?
It's beyond Ozzy.
I know, but I'm just saying that's like light of what you're talking about. Like,
way light.
Everyone kind of knew he was all the rock and rollers. They're satanic and all this stuff. And
he believed in everything. He wasn't one. He wasn't one over it all. This guy's saying he sold his soul to the devil and he's one of only.
Right.
And you're chanting the words with him.
But you can perceive that there is no devil and he's just a performance artist.
If you want to. Perception's on you.
Yeah, perception, baby.
That's your perception.
It's funny. It's funny nowadays.
How do you perceive life?
How do I?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's perception's key. So it depends on how you perceive life.
Yeah.
And it's funny how duped and gullible to wanting to fit in to be a part of that norm.
Well, they'll call you a sissy for saying, "Hey, I like a sunrise." You know, you can really soak in a lot of life just watching the sun come up on like a deck or something, and just kind of enjoying that shit. People don't have any gratitude for anything anymore. It's always on to the next damn thing.
Why do you think alcohol is so big?
Popular?
So big.
Well,
people are
not addiction.
Well, no, before it was addiction. Because people are not comfortable in themselves, so they wanted a different sense of reality.
I mean,
right.
It was a mask. People used it to cope.
Escape. To escape.
That's any drug whatsoever to cope. So you go and realize that the fact of the matter is, instead of putting blame upon somebody else and say, well, I did this because this and because that, why don't you just actually fix the reason why you did it instead of blaming somebody else the reason why you did it?
That's
or just be fine with the fact that you fucked up. The thing, you don't have to do anything but to act like it's a reason outside of you for the shit that you do that you have control over is fuck shit. I don't believe in that. Like, if I'm fucked up, I'm fucked up. I don't make excuses for why I'm fucked up. I don't say I'm only human. If I wanted to change it, I'd change it. I don't want to change, and I'm going to suffer the consequences for being hard-headed and stubborn that way. But luckily, I got willpower and drive that when I see my life going in a certain direction and it's not going for the better, I force myself to change shit about myself because it's not me ain't working for me.
That's right.
That's a hard plateau to reach. Alcohol and drugs skew your perception.
It's not even just alcohol and drugs, even the false sense of reality of any way whatsoever. You see things outside the way that you're supposed to see it, Henry. But you're right.
This is why I don't. This is exact, and you are living, breathing example of this. This is why the stigma is so bad on junkies and alcoholics is because we don't get to the root of the problem. We just say alcohol is the problem.
They just say you're a fucking junkie, and
that's the thing. We get looked at the most vile, ugly people when it's like the ugly is inside and around me. I'm just trying not to be of it or in it as much as possible.
Right.
Oh, shit. I hate to toot my own horn, but I'm lucky to be alive. I'm grateful every day.
We all are, we all are, but at the same time, it's not luck, it's purpose. And when you find it's really not like it's not luck. It's not luck that you were able to play and sing the way that you do. It's a blessing to have a talent. It's hard work and practice that gives you the skill beyond the want to want to do what you want to do. Just like he want to cook, he does it to the rate to where it's like breathing to him. Singing and playing the guitar is like breathing to you. At the Love Trade, you were top 3 of the people that don't need nothing, not a mic, not a speaker, you don't even need your guitar. You could literally start performing wherever the fuck you at.
Joe, turn a light on.
You stop that now. Fuck, you're amazing too, Joe. Holy shit, your set was bomb.
I'm not saying that to take away from me. I'm saying that because I'm saying that because that's a fucking reality. I said that to T Words. I said that to ID Cypher. I was like, dude, I know I'm good. I know I love music, but this guy right here is like, he can go wherever. This is what music is, being able to create harmonies and bring people together.
Lose yourself in.
It's something to be celebrated. And that's
Joe, turn your interior light on in your car.
You know, that's a good thing, man. You know, that y'all can tap into that.
It's
not easy. I'm gonna say that. It's not easy.
It's those little events that and instances, there's so much that are worth every day we go through and we suffer through. You know, breaking, it's not just luck, it's a lot of willpower and stuff to be standing there. And
there's no such thing as luck, though, Henry. Please, there's no such thing as luck. You have a divine purpose, and that is the will to want to do it. There's no such thing as luck.
Sure. No, that's accidentally. I think too many people die from addictions and succumb to them because they don't follow their path.
But that's not a luck, sweetheart.
Rapping, but rapping, cooking, guitar, and singing, these are the things that we're meant to do. I think a lot of people do suffer when they're meant to not do that.
Facts. And people to not take upon what your talent is. Let's say I was one heck of a cook, or I was one heck of a seamstress, or I was one heck of something, a computer person, whatever it could be. And yet I did not utilize my talents and take it upon myself to embrace that. That doesn't mean luck. That means that I just didn't love me enough correctly to utilize what I'm good at.
I don't really believe in luck all that much either, unless it's like a point system in a video game. Got a nerd, but you know, that's a real luck. But I don't like luck either. I don't like the idea of it, and I guess fate's somewhere similar along those lines. But
hopefully they're just, everything's weird to me. What people want to say, just instead of saying the real thing itself, it's your divine self, your divine whatever you're supposed to be doing. You're only doing what you're supposed to be doing. Everybody in this world is doing what they want to do. I really don't like when someone says, man, I really need a cigarette. Do you need that, motherfucker, or do you want it? Be honest with yourself. You don't need that bad boy, but you really want it. You want it so bad it feels like you might need it, but you don't.
I'm about to light a cigarette up, but it ain't full of tobacco. And
I'm just saying at the end of the day.
Podcast.
The thing is that we just real literal with words. So when somebody says something to you, like I used the word goofy, and my cousin didn't like it, and I'm like, why does he not like that word so much? Like, I don't think he's a goofy person at all, but because of something that was said to him in the past, he don't like the word. So that's the funny thing about contact, and once again, it's universal, right back to perception, because girls can call all their girlfriends bitches, slut, hoes, all that shit. As soon as a dude that they don't like or don't respect call them that, it's offensive.
Right.
Ooh, hell,
totally fine. Right.
So listen to this, Joe. There was a thing this guy said to this little
girl. Right, Joe.
I don't know if I told you this already or not, but this guy said to this, he was in the restaurant with his little son. The waitress said, "Oh, you're such a good-looking boy. You're gonna be gorgeous when you get older. You're gonna make a lot of people's heads turn and stuff like that. You are so good-looking. And how old are you?" The guy said, "I want you to stop talking to my son like that, because if I spoke like that to your daughter, I'd be considered a pedophile."
Right.
But you're going to say that to my son, and it'd be okay because you're a female?
That's gross as fuck. That's sexualizing children. They do that shit at beauty pageant stuff. Why do we let that shit go on too? It's weird, isn't it?
Everything's weird.
And that I'm glad that you said it exactly like you did, Henry, because it's like it goes back into why people don't tap into self is because once you take on that responsibility, it's like the Matrix. Once you wake up, you can't act like you can't undo what you have learned. So now you gotta live the rest of your life with the responsibility.
Right. So then we don't have like Joe. Then we don't have good sex education. We got a bunch of parents telling their kids, "You need a little girlfriend or you get a little boyfriend and shit." That's wrong too. I mean, they're not explaining any basics for it.
You know what's fucked up? I don't think we really need sex education. I think that naturally humans want to have sex just like animals. We're just animals. Like, seriously, I think if this place wasn't governed and society wasn't set up like it was, you don't think that like teenagers would openly be having sex?
Teen pregnancy never happens. And how's that happen? It's not divine intervention. Shit,
I'm saying it's all.
When I was fucking 13.
It's cool to make a movie about kids drinking and smoking and having sex, but God forbid that it actually happened in real life, or that parents have said, "I would rather it happen in my house than outside in the streets." Come on, this is a fucking America, people. Quit playing with yourself. Quit lying to you.
And then the kids ask, and they're like, "You're too young to understand that." And that's just an invitation to dig as hard as you can into whatever internet search you can and figure it out the wrong way.
Oh, it's somebody at your school. It's somebody. I was just told people that I was like, it was people at my school that told me everything my parents refused to. And it wasn't necessarily the right way. They were saying shit like, "Oh, girls got 3 holes," and I'm like, "Oh, what are like? Oh my god!" Like we heard all kind of crazy, retarded shit. But after a while, it goes from the myths to middle school, where people are actually active, or some of them have been touched the wrong way before middle school, so their perception of sex is totally. It is fucked up.
I learned my shit from a porno. It was the wrong way.
There's no right way. That's what Joel's trying to say. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. We're all animals, and that's just natural. It's natural to do it. There's no right and there's no wrong.
I'm saying the only thing that makes it unnatural is when you force somebody or take somebody's like innocence from them. Like that's the only time that is ill. That's the only time that is ill. Like, it's a natural act. It's a natural act. But when you have to force you're not a natural. You're a natural disaster now.
So the first time I had sex, it was forced on me. I actually refused many, many times. And you're gonna probably sit here and think, well, how did it happen, man?
No, that's the fucking double standard in our society, is that we believe a woman no matter what. But if a dude go to court and say a woman raped me, the jury's gonna laugh, the bailiff's gonna laugh, and the judge is gonna say you have to be erect. You have to be aroused to be erect.
That's not true.
Well, here's the thing. I've talked to this person since, and both people, me and this person, had traumatic pasts involving, sex and stuff. And there's some levity between it, but still, I wish I hadn't done that, right? Because I'm kind of not into girls. And I spent years and years doing it wrong after that, trying to force the issue because I was listening to everybody around me who said, you need to have a girl, you need to be an alpha. Swinging dick, and I was miserable, and drank and drank and drank, and it was hard. It was hard. I wish someone would have facilitated the knowledge that it was okay for me to just kind of swing the other way, and maybe it would have turned out differently. Dude, I'm glad I know now.
We're here now, Henry, and this is perception. It was somebody that wasn't afraid to be gay in every city, in every community, and they took the fucking beatings, they took the bashings, they took the fucking all the fuck shit that go along with being, and it go right back to what I say. As soon as you start not being a zombie, you stand out. And they
That's what I'm
notice that
scared of.
now you're food. You're not a zombie no more. They want your brain.
I spent too long hiding, trying to not, and not just the gay stuff, but
we
just
all
everything.
did. No, you said it right. You spent too long hiding. It ain't about being gay. It's about running away from yourself.
Facts.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good point, Joe. Fuck yeah.
Because people are not comfortable being them, that they're going to either try to be like somebody else or do what somebody else does, because what society shows you that this is what's good. This is what we want you to do. This is what we want you to eat. This is how we want you to talk. This is what we want you to think. Society has put it upon us so much. Not even just society. It's not even just society. It's from the books we read to the stuff that we've been told as youth, from them and y'all. It's every single flipping thing. It's not one.
That's where I got the problem at. When they trying to push it off on children that that can't even say their ABCs all the way. Like, come on, man. Let that child grow. Let the child grow and learn about it at a later date. But you do it in cartoons now. Like that's where I got the problem at.
It ain't
I
even
don't knock nobody for
listen to this. It's not even cartoons. My grandson thinks he's bisexual at 9. Nothing against bisexual people. People I know are. I am. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm trying to say, though, my grandson at 9 thinks he's bisexual because it's normal.
Did he come to that conclusion himself?
Let me finish saying what I'm saying, because the people at his house all are. So to fit into that, he became one. He doesn't know what it means, though.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this right here. When I was little, I know I didn't want to kiss a boy. I know I didn't want a boy to touch my penis. I know I didn't want to get.
You didn't know that meant bisexual.
What I'm saying is, it's one thing to not know it and say it because the people around you do it, and that's what it is. It's a fad. Everybody did it. It's a lot of white kids that wanted to listen to hip hop and they teenagers, and now they all fucking listen to old rock and country. I've seen it. Like,
is ideal.
I've seen that, but it's a difference between a boy that always hung out with the girls, that always wore his mama's dresses and put on her makeup, and always was like awkward around boys. Either he didn't want to play sports or didn't want to wrestle or some shit, or he wanted to wrestle with one of them the wrong way.
See, now his idea is that he thinks that boys are cute too, and that if he wants to hold the hand of the boy, or he wants to be able to tell him a secret.
If he feels like that, he
doesn't know that. He doesn't know that it's okay to say another person is good looking. It's okay to say another person's cute. He doesn't know it means sexual. He doesn't know bisexual.
I've been around crackheads, thieves, Jehovah Witnesses, hookers, doctors, astronauts, killers, and none of them have made me want to do anything that they do.
I told my grandson what bisexual meant, and he said I was wrong. I told him what bisexual people do, and he told me I was wrong. He doesn't really know what it is. He thinks
like
tell another person your deep, dark secrets and maybe want to hold their hand.
Like I said, as a kid, when you don't know any better, it's cool to fit in with a trend. It's cool. Okay, like whatever. Like, for a lot of people, hip hop was they thought in the 80s, people thought hip hop was like that was gonna be the end of it. Like, it wasn't gonna make it past 87.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
It is the only thing in America, only business, only multi-billion-dollar industry in America that is still owned majorly by America.
And it's over 50 years old now. What's hip hop?
So this is,
and I'm saying, like, Fred Durst and John Davis from
I
fucking
can hear
Limp Bizkit and
anyway.
Korn. They grew up listening to Run DMC and Beastie Boys. So did Kid Rock. So
Yeah,
did
remember All in the Family, Joe?
So it's not like for some of the white boys it was a fad. For some of them it was fucking life. If you want to say the black culture or rap is a fad for Eminem, that's all well and good. But I know without rap, that nigga would be dead.
Right. Well, look at ICP and their huge ass fan base.
And that's what I'm saying. The business acumen of some juggalos. Like, dude, if you talking about independent, I'm saying they're in the top 5.
Yeah.
They did what Wu-Tang did without a fucking backing.
Yeah, Wu-Tang's a little different from the mold, weren't they? It's fucking sweet.
I'm saying worldwide fan base. The Insane Clown Posse did that without a major record label.
No, yeah, they're huge. They made their own shit. Yeah, they started that shit from scratch.
I don't care if you like their music or not. Worldwide, if you're a juggalo, you got somewhere to stay.
Exactly. And they're pretty big on protecting children too, which is always a good thing.
No, they totally against chomos and pedophiles. Bro, they don't play that shit. But too many of them in Washington was a gang. Right.
Yeah. The perception on juggalos has changed for sure.
No, like when they first came out, I'm from the D, so it's like when I heard who was going chicken hunting, I was like, that shit's gonna be a fad.
Yeah.
When the Great Malenko came out, it was already sealed, but when that CD dropped, it was a fucking rap.
When were you in Flint? What year were you in Flint, Joe? What year was that?
I was in between Lapeer and Genesee County for all between 2006 and 2000, all the way up to 2020.
So when did the Juggalos first come out?
91. That's when Who's Going Chicken Hunting first came on the box, about 90, 91.
Do you remember, it's supposed to have been a fad, do you remember Flint, all of the street stop signs had Juggalos on them?
But that's what I'm saying, though. I'm not from Flint. And if Flint was on that shit in the 90s, that just go to show how big their presence was. Because they were like straight. They not even from the D. They from the suburbs. I'm not
even speaking the 90s. I'm speaking in 2000 and errors.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But that's what it's grown to. Yeah, that's what it's grown to. It, like I said, it's juggalos everywhere. And they said every one of them, they like it's like a fraternity. They said if you really whoop whoop, you got a brotherhood of people worldwide.
And they're speaking truth for real.
And look what they've done for Bago. You got to attest some of that.
I don't fuck with them, but I don't turn them away. I don't say, "Oh, they got the hatchet on them." I don't fuck with them. I just don't listen to that music. I'm not a fan of it. But to say that at least they got a unity amongst them that the human race doesn't have. So fuck what people talking about.
That part.
It's a very spiritual thing to be a juggalo. I've mingled with them.
I live with them.
I've known them too.
What the fuck is a juggalo?
Oh yeah, there's a song about that.
So before Eminem made Stan, this was kind of the original. Like Lady Gaga got Monsters. Nicki got Barbies and Kens.
Slipknot's got Maggots.
Right.
Oh,
so
it's like the
everybody got a following.
Yeah.
The juggalos
like
the juggalos are ICP's following.
Do y'all remember the ICP and beef?
No, but listen to this. You remember ICP when they did wrestling before they started singing?
Cool, though.
Before ICP started singing, they did that wrestling.
JCW, I knew a lot of Juggalo Championship wrestling. Yeah, crazy. They put light bulbs to each other and shit.
Before they started rapping, and then remember they had those circles on the stage that they put during the wrestling match, and they would all start singing.
Fucking wow.
That's
Hey, want to see my
so...
pod collection? No.
Hey, ICP was when they independent though?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They was independent, right?
Yeah.
Just look up how much content they got. It's fucking crazy.
They
how many
press
motions
their own
they
CDs.
reached everywhere because they started from the South, right, Joe? You said?
No, they are
Basically.
from the suburbs around surrounded. They like
I thought it was south into Detroit.
They like north of Detroit, like Mount Clemens area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Basement Cuts is like their first album. I know that, and that came out way back. Chicken Hunting was on one of their third Joker card, I think. That was like one of their big mainstream CDs.
Yeah, so that goes to show you that they worked before they were known to get to where they were, and then they took it farther than that. They brought out Twisted. They brought out Tech Nine's presence is strengthened by the Juggalos. He got Kansas City on lock, but worldwide Juggalos fuck with Tech Nine.
And you can't
strange music.
Tech's a bad motherfucker.
But the thing is, though, listen, what I'm trying to say is when they did the wrestling thing before they started the music career, well, they were doing music at the wrestling, but when the wrestling was their thing, the way to get out, that was important here, and they were at the McMorrin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That wasn't that long ago.
No, it was a long time ago. I didn't even have a child yet. Yes, you were born.
I thought they came to McMorrin recently with the
They probably did, but I'm talking about when they first when CDs before CDs first came out, when they were just starting to come out with CDs back in the 90s, when lasers first came out. I went to watch WCW.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Or WWF, it might have been. But it was WWF before it changed to WCW. I went and watched WWF at the McMorrin.
Yeah.
Into the 90s. Before you were born. Henry. Or you just were born.
I'm probably the youngest person here. I think I'm 30-something. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's when they first came out. Lasers came out, and they were handing out the CDs, and no one really knew what CDs were because it just started coming out.
Wow. They were the future.
Wow.
But that's how big they've gotten because people will stand for something. But
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can't. If they were worried about how different they sound or not being the dopest rappers or being white or any of that shit, where would the Juggalo movement be?
Nowhere. It's a good story to pay attention to. It really is. Just how to do it right.
I'm saying you have to be like, at what point do you not be one of the sheep or one of the cows and just look up and see the slaughterhouse and go the other fucking way?
Yeah.
You got to eventually.
That's what it is too. It's not even woke either. Like the woke and the not woke is a huge fight now. People who are awake, and see the bullshit for what it is. That's an important thing. I think that falls in line with kids too, because you facilitate a healthy way for a kid to learn and not force information onto them and let them just roll with it. I think naturally you'll figure it out. That's a beautiful world.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be much different.
That's
why they made Lord of the Flies, because it was saying that if the world didn't have any adults in it and kids just live, it would be the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the name of your record or your media company Antonio?
Black Money Media LLC.
Black Money
Media LLC.
Can you put it in the chats? Can you put it in the private chats? It goes to the bottom and says where it says more. You'll see where it says chats.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I'm just getting it started. I gotta redo everything because
That's okay.
Yeah, it'll keep our guests up on what you're doing.
Yep, right where it says comment. Don't even say that it hasn't started yet or you got to redo anything. None of that's irrelevant. This is what you're already speaking into existence. This is your media company.
Did he say Black Money?
You said Black Money Media?
Yeah, Black Money Media. Yeah.
LLC.
Yep, I just
LLC.
Thank you.
You know, I've been messing with music.
Oh, he accidentally hung himself up.
He had something he was going to say too. It was like
he'll be back.
He's been messing with music.
They always come back.
He'll come back. His phone might have done something, but he'll come back.
This has been a interesting one. I think this has been fun, informative.
Facts.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's hard though. What I've learned, I don't want to say it's hard. What I've learned for some people though, to be self and to take accountability isn't hard. It's just like Antoine said before he dipped earlier. He said they're not used to it. It's not comfortable to them. It's not the norm. So some people don't like change because it's not comfortable. Some people don't like to not fit in because they don't want to be looked at. I've asked a lot of people to come on this podcast and to co-host with me before I started this podcast. There were people that think like me and act like me, that that believe like I do. And you know what they told me? They didn't want to stand out. They didn't want to have attention drawn to them. They didn't want to be.
Not everybody does.
They wanted to fit in and just go under the radar and whatever. Granted, not everybody does, but if you think a different way in life, like I feel a different way, I feel that if you do not fulfill your lesson that you have to learn here, you're going to repeat it to learn it.
Sure.
People are here for a reason. There's a reason the world's the way it is. And if we do not do something about it, and I'm not saying stand up and burn your bras and become the difference. I'm saying, though, if you don't fulfill your purpose, then you're going to repeat the cycle.
Yeah, I think I got that message at some point and wasn't ashamed of the past, those things that you kind of figure out when you get over the fear and insecurity. People want to hear what's going on, people are interested. They're interested in being real. And I don't know, so I try to be now. I was not real for a long time. It's a weird way to be.
What is real, though? Your perception of it?
Well, I suppose a perception could be everything. I pretended to like football for 19 years to fit in with people. I still just don't care about football. I don't give a shit about football.
I know, but what is real, though? What is real? That's what I want to know.
Not lying.
What's real, though? Show me real. Because we don't even know, because we've been lied to our whole life about everything. So what is real?
I'm real.
Then that's the only thing you should worry about.
Yeah.
And people don't. People worry about too much of the wrong things. I'm a product of that.
That feels you're real.
Even though I say I don't worry about the wrong things, I catch myself every now and then, and I get reminded by my friend, my life partner, that I got to remind myself that every now and then, even though I say it, I'm still doing it. So people contradict themselves a lot in their what is it called? Hypocrites. A lot.
But that is one thing to do it by being imperfect, and it's another thing to live in being hypocritical by passing judgment on people when you're like a total fucking messer. So
Facts.
I don't care so much about being imperfect. You just have to acknowledge it. I don't care. And you don't have to do anything really, but if you're not aware of your own environment, your own surroundings, because you're a multiverse in your own head, you don't need attachment to anything else to be a whole fucking galaxy by your goddamn self. That's why it's so important to just worry about you and not be worried about nothing else.
I had someone say to me last night, and I'm not gonna. He may not come back. I don't know what happened. I think his phone might have died. But I had someone say to me last night. I said, I want to build an empire, and they said, then do it. And I said, I don't want to do it alone. And they said, no, you need to do it. Doesn't matter who it's with, you need to do it. It doesn't matter if you got someone by your side or you're going to do it alone. You need to do it. And like That's not word for word what was said, but that's what the just I gathered from it, perception. So that's what I perceived when the person said that to me, because they said, no, you do it alone. In me, my life, my whole life, and I'm going to be transparent for a hot second, my whole life, I've always felt the need to have someone else in my life to not do it alone. Like I had to have someone else or I couldn't do this, which is mind boggling that now at 48, it was brought to my attention that I reminded or that I was conscious enough to see that that's what it is. I've been doing this my whole entire life. My whole entire life, I've been feeling like I had to have something beside me to do things. Even this podcast, I didn't want to do the podcast without a co-host. I didn't want to do the podcast without guest speakers coming on and stuff like that. When I had to do the podcast regardless who comes on with me, even if I have nobody coming on, I'm still going to run it.
So people gravitate towards that, and that's why I'm here smiling next to you, because I love it. It's awesome, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. But the fact is that at 48, I just realized that I want to build an empire and I don't need someone to do it with. No. I have this want to be in someone's life so bad that I don't need to, because I'm enough by myself, for myself.
Yeah, you're never too late to build an empire.
And not only that, I don't think the collective really realizes that when you're the best you possible, the options of people that want to be with you, even the ones that are meant to be with you. I'm not just talking about being wanted for being attractive or being wanted for being successful or being seen, but being your genuine self is going to bring out who's really fucking meant for you.
Yeah, it's polarizing.
But I reach so much because I want it so bad that I've been doing this my whole entire life. I
think everybody does. We're on Facebook, and I've said this to multiple people. Even if you are making money, but especially if you are not profiting in a way that you don't have to work and you don't want for anything, you are on Facebook for attention of some sort. People use the excuse, oh, I talk to people that I can't cut, or I can't get my music out here any other way, or how am I going to reach a fan base and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out here and travel and live life.
Facts. I do go on Facebook when I feel lonely, and I'll agree to that completely.
I'm saying I really do go on Facebook. I'm a numbers dude. I do all the analytics. I'm tapped out of a lot of shit that will have me arguing back and forth about shit that don't matter. I've allowed myself to not be political, not get caught up in what's trending, none of that shit. So like when I'm on there, I'm legit really, really, really trying to network and stretch my reach to people. But once again, that is literally reaching. It's just we justify why or when or how we reach instead of just recognizing that you're reaching. Now, if you really wanted attention, especially the kind that comes from a compassionate sort or from somebody that is attentive and cares about how you really feel, why the fuck would you go on Facebook for that?
So it's just getting around about a time, so I just want to play the you got a new EP dropped?
Yes, I did. It came out the 11th of August. It's called Outta Nowhere. It is entirely produced by Chills Beats. Angel Chills Beats Rivera on Facebook, Chills Beats on Instagram. Look them up. It's been 2 years in the working of recording, and I just feel like a rock star as far as like doing music now, because I've been doing more jam sessions and performing than I have actually been recording professionally. I've recorded, but like a lot of my stuff has been either rough drafts or more like home studio type stuff. So what I'm glad to say about this is, one, I've done it with somebody that like I really care about as a person, and we've been linked up for over 20 years. Um it's crazy how him on the beat and me on the verse is it, like it's just it's crazy. And these four songs, they're diverse, they explain a lot and leave wonderment for what's to come. um
I like the fact that you got personal in them too. I've seen a different side of you through these songs, and we're about to play them. Can you put Chill's beat in, or Chill's name into the comments so I can copy it and paste it?
yeah, I got it.
I appreciate you. All right, so we're gonna do let me see. I'm gonna do not gonna
Not
they
gonna
not
do.
No, they not gonna like me.
Oh, not they not gonna like you. Yep,
Mhm.
that's track 3 off the EP.
That's what I'm gonna play right now.
All right.
Hey, yeah.
Kilohertz Productions.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Yeah, ayy. What an immaculate feeling. Back in the building. Watch this that racks to the ceiling. Oh, they gon' have an opinion. But long as I'm winning, they mad. I'm laughing and grinning. So on behalf of the mitten, I'm killing it. No, I don't plan on quitting, my nigga. You won't catch me lacking the capping, my nigga. Angel Kings, get the acting up, nigga. I'm on my aria, applying the pressure. Gotta keep mine together. Be at your might as a feather. Higher than heaven. On probation, but a slap with that weapon. Thought he was lame. Slight misconception. Dog, nigga, that'll light up your section. From a city, you could die in these seconds. This little kitty, what no crying to tell her. Niggas talking that big shit, that rich shit, still fucking broke. Bitch ass won't man up, won't stand up, still fucking jokes. Salty and soggy, feeling froggy, you gon' fucking croak. Cheat your chong when the beef is on, like Marie for Holmes, you be up in smoke. Ayy, always got green on me. Every day St. Patrick's, don't ask in advance, bitch. I ain't passing no matching. Got a stash of that Afghan, some shit from north of San Fran. I see you pussy, cat scan. Crazy Joe, Batman, fuck around, find out season, ayy. Fuck around, wind up bleeding, ayy. Summertime vibes out freaking, ayy. Somebody mind out all weekend, ayy. And she could get it, the kids gone. She gets so energetic, she headstrong in the bed and athletic. She did wrong, she so fucking pathetic. Yeah, just look at you, giving head for the fee, you so pitiful. I address them, finesse them, undress them, caress them, get hit for the free and get rid of you. Yeah, the evil that women do. But a dog out on me, I see bitching you. Yeah, put the pussy in critical, make a hospital visit and finish you. Sub-Zero, cold-blooded assassin, no chill, kill a bitch with a passion, no fear, no bluffing, no bragging, so chill for the motherfucking champion. I feel beat up and bloody as Rocky, with my back on the ropes like I'm Ali. No matter the op, they can't drop me. Red line through red lights, they can't stop me. I keep my lip on the spliff, your bitch on the tip of my dick. We ain't the same, I do not trick on a bitch. No, I'm not giving a shit, we ain't engaged. Matador to the tourists, don't want the pussy if it's Pisces. It's the pro back in this bitch, and I don't give a fuck who don't like me. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, Dragon Ball Z is Mortal Kombat.
1 second, I apologize. That's the only way to get it. Say what?
The Dragon Ball Z and Mortal Kombat references make me weak. I love it. It's dope.
I love how you contradict yourself on purpose in the sentence of saying how great she was and how shitty she was, all wrapped in one. People are so wishy-washy with themselves that they don't want to be real enough to admit it.
It's crazy that you say that, because I used to hate I used to have a dislike at a period of time for Tupac for that reason. Is because it's like you get political and uplifting and got positive high vibrational messages, and Then you turn around and make a hit 'em up or just some crazy shit that degrades and belittles and like is low vibrational and is not positive. And I used to look at that as like, how is this the greatest rapper? And it's because he can convey both sides of the coin. He's not perfect. He does have petty in him. He does want revenge. He does fuck random girls at times. So it's like, even if he literally didn't do that, to not tell that story like it doesn't exist limits his artist.
Right.
Does he do the song how he learned from those things, you know?
Yeah, because I'm saying like it. I think country affords its artists to be able to write songs that they don't live. They can tell stories and get away with it. They can talk about a life they don't live, and the listener still gravitates to the music heavy. And hip hop is like, you got to do what you say. You can't talk about some shit you don't live. And it's like, why can't I paint a picture for you to look at? Facts.
Man, yeah, like remember Whitey Ford Sings the Blues? What it's like. That's still a song that everybody listens to and you put on, and like it's several different stories all culminating kind of the same message, and I think that shit was awesome. Like,
and that's exactly what it is that you don't know that person's life until you lived it, and you never will. So don't judge at all, because that's what Antonio was saying at the beginning, is like that being humble keeps you from putting your foot in your mouth and thinking and playing God and thinking that you're better than somebody or that you know it all and being condescending. A lot of the things that alienated myself, like when I would say y'all, like it was just brought out today, I'm recognizing all my flaws, and I want to act like I'm irritated with something outside of myself when it's really my own insecurities, my own shortcomings that I'm pissed off about. And instead of just dealing with those things and correcting those things, it's easier to point the finger outward than to do the work 3 times with the fingers that's pointing back at you.
Facts. And I appreciate that most about you, and that's why you're still in my life, because you are mindful of self. And I love that about you. And the fact of that, you're not only mindful of yourself, but when you go on, you're not going to perform when you go on the stage. You're going on to tell a story. So when you're performing, we're feeling you. Right. I'm gonna play the song real quick because this fits in anyway. And I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Here.
Kilohertz Productions.
I don't know how to live without you. Ain't much I did without you. I feel like Puff without Big without you. How the fuck I'm supposed to do this shit without you? My head gone, a lump in my throat, a hole in my heart, my motherfucking soul in the dark. Sit alone in the dark, torn apart, playing Bob Marley back to back. Then the sun's after that. I might just face from here on, that's how I'm really feeling. You was bad when you passed, such a shitty feeling. Things I never said and never got to do. No longer optional, feel like I need to pop a few. And I ain't cried yet, something gotta be wrong. But I'm surviving cause I gotta be strong. I won't let them fall from my eyes, so the tears that I cry fell down in the song, nigga. I can't believe it was your time to leave. I don't even know how to grieve. On bended knee, I can't breathe. Vision blurry, man, I can't see. Man, I never ever felt so weak. Pain never ever went this deep. Speechless, but I had to speak. It's the motherfucker.
So you just got such a nostalgia factor for me, man. Really good.
Thank you.
Take me back somewhere.
So, if I could want something for somebody in my life, I want something for you. If I could want something, if it was fair for me to want something of you, I'd want you to be more happy with who you are because I see a different side than what you see.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm just saying that's just something that I'd want for me, not for you. I'd want it for you, but I'd be selfishly wanting it for me because you're
That's
great.
I call that the Robin Williams effect. Like we were too busy being entertained by him to be bothered with his personal life.
Yes.
I had no idea. Like I saw they were trying. Actually, this dude was just doing a skit, and it reminded me of Kyler Nicholas, the guy that did the comedy at Love Trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He does these skits where it's basically like improv acting, and this guy took his time to do a scene acting like Robin Williams the day after John Belushi OD'd, and he was like, "No, I was with him last night. He's that can't be possible." And just hearing that line is that all these great comedians were getting fucked up. I'm talking about all the ones that made us laugh, all the ones that we really really fuck with. John Candy, all of them.
Chris Farley,
Chris
we lost him
Farley,
way too soon.
all of them, and that goes into the judge and the junkie thing. It's like, oh, okay, it's cool when they making us laugh, but as soon as we found out you put a needle in your arm, you ain't shit.
Right. You know how bad it hurt to lose Lane Staley? Like, no, he's never gonna do another Alice in Chains album with Jerry
Look,
Cantrell.
Chris
Or how
Cornell died in Detroit. Audio Slave, all kind of shit.
What was that song for? What was that song about? What was that song? Don't Walk Away. What was that song about?
Well, it has personal for me, but because I didn't even really want to write it when that was the first beat I got for this album. Like when I got it from Children, I love the beat. Like Henry said, it is a very nostalgic thing, but I wanted to touch on something. I wanted to bring as a much emotion to that beat as a beat made me feel. And within the first 3 days of like fumbling around with it, I wrote the first verse, and my brother had just died that year, and that's what it is. But more so than just for him, because for me, that was the first. That was the hardest death on me so far. So I'll say that to say this. I have been blessed to not have that kind of pain happen early on. I'm blessed to be able to have a life with somebody that I can remember times, good times and bad, things that I'm learning about him and from him, even though he's not here anymore. And all I can think about is all the people who lost somebody before my brother passed, and all the people that's been lost since then. It's like it goes back and it's being a universal thing. Your pain is pain, and we all have pain. So it's all our pain. It's not just your pain. It's only your pain when you want to hold on to it, and it's still everybody else's pain. It's just that you want to make it personal, and that's cool. It's just that's when it becomes a y'all situation. But just know you waged that war against the world, not the other way around.
Facts. And I remember I spoke to Ray the other day, and Ray was saying, because he lost his son at 3 months old or something like that, and then lost his daughter at 17. And his daughter, he didn't really get to know because she was in another country. She was in Jamaica. So he didn't really get that bond with her. Her mom called him up the other day, and she was like talking about memories that she had. And he was mad by her calling him up about it, because why is she bringing it up to me and keep reminding me that I no longer have no children at all? And I said to him, I said, maybe because you can relate to her, knowing her, because you got to know her a little too. And maybe she reaches out to you because she's stuck with the remembrance of the memory. So what's worse, having all those memories of this person and that you constantly get to not ever see again, and you didn't get to see do all these things that you thought you wanted to go see, or not knowing this person good enough yet didn't build them memories? Which one's worse? And he said, I guess both really are. And I said, so don't judge her for calling you about memories when you don't have memories like she does, that's eating her up every single day.
And on top of that,
I never thought of it that way.
I don't really care if he don't have memories. I refuse to act like my brother didn't exist.
Right. No, he has memories of her. He just doesn't have as many as her mom did, because he didn't.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
he had more, and he was more mad at her for bringing it up to him because he wished he could have had memories.
I've never been one to like try to block shit out. I don't care how painful or traumatic it is. I want to remember the pain. I want that darkness. I sit through those sad songs. I watch that fucked up part of the movie to know that that is a actual, real, very true, very existent part of life.
Right. And what I was trying to say is,
blind to those things.
I was just trying to say you can look at it in the other aspect too. Look at her shoes. You know, they're both really tough. Neither of them are easy. To not have many memories and wishes you could have had more, to have constant reminding and not ever to do anything with those memories. They're both rough.
That's the thing.
Say one at a time. I don't know who said something.
Nope. I was going to say sadness can be a really beautiful thing. Like Joe was saying, that's why we listen to sad songs, and making pain a tangible thing that we can understand is a good way of grieving. That's why music's so good. And feel that in your music, you know, especially that last song.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, Henry. That's what I'm talking about with you, is that you feel music. So your warm-ups is like a song to somebody. And you're just practicing, getting ready to deliver what is actually your performance. But your performance, even though I can tell, because I'm nervous as fuck when I go on stage, so I had to find a way to welcome myself and not feel like the crowd had to be warm and welcome and loud enough for me. I was like, no, make yourself feel at home. So it's cool that you just a very good showman, and you just very, very good about you're not wishing a bad set on yourself, no matter how nervous or how fucked up you are about it. It's like, I'm gonna give these people everything and more.
Yeah.
Dude, someone told me no one notices when you fuck up. Some people do. I do. It's like, what do? You fall apart, or do you embrace it?
I think I might have been someone that told you that, because I had no clue you messed up in the song.
No,
Joe messed up in his song. I had no clue.
No.
Nobody has a clue but you. So you're the only one judging you. Because when I see you perform, I see somebody that's hyping the crowd up and getting everybody ready for this great experience. When I see Joe perform, I see a storyteller that I enjoy. I love every part about Joe. So when I see Joe performing, I'm just like in awe, because I love Joe. So
I like the set, like you said earlier with the hook. Like, you're not just singing over a beat. You're feeling that beat from start to finish. You're utilizing it, the music of it, and anyone can just slap lyrics over a beat. You know what I'm saying? That sometimes multi-million-dollar people do it. It's incredible to see that organic, that nature. And to be honest with you, closing this phone out and sitting here with the walls looking at me is sometimes scarier than ever being on fucking stage. That's the only time I feel real. To be transparent again.
Oh, that's crazy, and it shows in your performance because you're not as as anxious as it can be to perform in front of people you don't know. You make yourself at fucking home, and that is the first thing about being a rock star is doing your shit like you doing it for TV, even though you're just doing it because this is something that you do. Jim Morrison, all the rest of the Doors named their profession. They named what part of the band they were. They named what instrument they played. And when it came to Jim, and they asked him, "What's your name and your profession?" He said, "Jim."
Jim. Yeah. Bold statement, but it's true. They ask it. They
Right.
ask Frank
I
Zappa, you
get
know,
it.
they
I get it. You are what you eat. But at the same time, if you just drink water, you're everything.
What Henry doesn't like more than anything is being alone in his head.
Yes, I love people. I love life.
He loves to avoid being alone in his head. That's the part that he can't deal with, and that's the trauma that he has to heal.
I don't think anybody really likes to be alone. That's why that Batman movie with Bane in it hit so tough, because like he really broke Bruce Wayne's spirit, because it was like he said, "Oh, you think you're of the dark? You just embraced it. I was born in it." It was, so it's like it's real cool to think you had a hard ass life. Your parents got took. Yeah, and it's this sick ass world for somebody to look at. Oh, your parents died when you were 12. Wham, wham, wham. But that's really what it is. That's when you were 12, and you let that moment define what you were gonna be for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Some people let trauma destroy them, you know.
And it does different things to different people. Some people go through trauma and that freezes them in that moment, and everything after that is just a reaction from that day. And then people empower themselves and they don't let that day make up the rest of their life. It's no right or wrong way, because I would not be the person to tell you that you don't have to be down because you were violated. You don't have to be down because the people closest to you aren't around or aren't receptive to you or aren't treating you with kindness and consideration. But if you don't have that for yourself, asking for it in this day and age from anybody outside of you is the biggest example of entitlement. And it's sad, it's crazy, but it's true. We have gotten too used to being able to reach out and touch somebody. We have gotten so used to reaching out and touching somebody, we have distanced ourselves from our hearts and minds.
Yeah, you remember when people were like, Hi, Martha. I just need to borrow a cup of sugar or something."
Right.
Be kind of like, we got Facebook now, and like you said, it's you get on there and people are more closed off than ever. Where no one's borrowing sugar from each other because no one trusts each other anymore.
But you don't want to be alone with yourself, so you get in this metaverse of people who are actually real in real life, but don't want to bring up their flaws or insecurities on Facebook, so everybody's fine. I don't really mind showing hurt. I just know that being vulnerable in a place that eats the weak is not always the wisest thing to do.
No,
You
you
have
gotta
to
be
be
prepared for that shit for
you
the
have to
incoming
be
barrage.
extremely tough skin to deal with the ugliness of the world.
I guess, yeah, that's why I don't like people who scream and scream and scream, and then when you confront them with shit, they actually don't have any information on it. They're just making a big stink about it or sharing some dumb shit meme about it. No information to back it up. And like you said, and like we were talking about earlier, it's just crazy. I don't know. And you're not invited to all those battles on Facebook, but sometimes you just get dragged into that dumb shit, don't you?
Well, I got this thing, hashtag FUTA, fuck up the algorithm. I don't care what it is. If you on YouTube and it says these are the people that you listen to every day, go a month without listening to any of them. You can listen to music, just don't listen to nothing that you've been listening to for the past 2 years for a month.
Oh shit! I'm all about that. What am I got going on? I'm listening to No Country for Old Men on audiobook, and then I got psychology things pulled up, and some retro video games. Who knows what I got? K-pop.
And that's what I'm saying. It works with food. It works with people. It works with places. Like, fuck up the algorithm. Don't go to the same place anymore. You sick of your life, you sick of your surroundings, you sick of the people. Go somewhere completely different.
That's it. Tailoring the algorithm to more suit. And that's what I've been trying to do is weed out the bullshit and replace it with, I'm going to add this group that only talks about music or something on.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I made a group, Antisocial Network. That's for the people who aren't really people, but don't want to be alone. And we have, and it's indicative of the same thing that this pod is about, unseen twisted truth. So it's about talking about things other than what's trending on Twitter and shit. Not that I'm saying I look, man, I just because I got the joy sucked out of me don't mean people don't need to be on Monopoly Go to like do it up. I don't.
That's some accountability right there and shit.
I'm real. I used to have a favorite foot. It's crazy that you said that about football. I stopped watching football because of when I seen Brett Favre in a Jets jersey. I was like, I know this isn't just about people wanting to win and people wanting to be just an inspiration to everybody around them. It's about money. It's about politics, and that was disgusting. And in the same year, Patrick Ewing from the Knicks went to the Supersonics. I'm like, this is disgusting. I can't. And it's crazy. I tell people this all the time. For me to look at sports with that disdain, but not give up music, we're weird how we pick our poisons, because that industry is so fucking.
It is, and for that reason, I only watched college ball for the most part, which is still fucking the people had their hands in that shit. But.
And then fucking Michigan State and University of Michigan had fucking perverted shit happen at their colleges. So I was like, wow, my favorite fucking college team got pedophilia going on at that bitch.
Like everything's start this wrapped up. I apologize, you guys.
No, Kimberly, we've been just me and Joe been talking for like an
hour.
I
want to do this. I want to do this last song right here, and then I want to talk and do the shout outs.
Okay.
Apologize.
Kilohertz Productions.
I'm a statistic. Skinny nigga, fucking fat white bitches. Yeah, fuck black girls, Mexicans, lesbians, even fuck the blind bitch. She ain't see me coming in, bitch, my side bitch. My main green leaf, youngin', ass to hit and catch a 3-piece, youngin'. When it come to weed, I want all the smoke. Chief keep lungin', and I will spend fines, bitch. That's Kiki money. DG dumping these P5 chills. I call my bodies now. Michigan rappers don't need a new hobby now. want me at the bottom, bitches wanna top me now. Shouldn't never started with me, now they can't stop me now. Just like school, these dummies wanna copy of me. Got they bitch wet, sis, soaking my masagi off me. Knock it off, better yet, cut it out. Money going up, everything else, shut it down. Give my chips to a bitch, what I'm not gonna do. Smoke with you, her and him, what I'm not gonna do. Drop jewels on a fool, what I'm not gonna do. Move like I came to lose, what I'm not gonna do. I don't expect them to understand it. I get the upper hand, you underhanded. Fuck that bitch, she dumb and mannish. Fuck you, nigga, you don't want the damage. The way I eat chicken and pussy, I should be a coward. Soon as she leave the shower, completely devoured. Give her the D, she talking about, I'ma need an hour. I need a freak like me, Adina Howard. Hold up, this bitch got an attitude. That's what a savage do. Shit, I done had a few. I've been living out of bags for like 2 years. I'm trying to have some acres and an Audi by like New Year's. Guess it's time to run it up. Like Pink, Papa Addy, bitch, I'm coming up. Can't eat when you wasn't on a hunt with us. I'm about to put some numbers up just to sum it up. Only nigga that's gonna have a problem is a motherfucker that feel like I'm talking about him. Talking loud to the motherfuckers sparse around him. So if the talk ain't about bread, what we talking about then? Give my chips to a bitch, what I'm not gonna do. Smoke with you, her and him, what I'm not gonna do. Drop jewels on a fool, what I'm not gonna do. Move like I came to lose, what I'm not gonna do. I don't expect them to understand it. I get the upper hand, you underhanded. Fuck that bitch, she dumb and mannish. Fuck you, nigga, you don't want the damage.
Chills on the motherfucking beat.
That is valid. So I like ending it on that note because to not fit in and be yourself. I love that. I love that. There's nothing wrong with being you. So anybody for domestic violence and in trauma survivors, talk to Gina Adams with Divine Order. She will give you the direction of where you need to go. She doesn't help with she doesn't do the counseling and whatnot, but they will refer people to you. They can show you what steps you need to go to get in a better situation. If you are going with any kind of drugs or alcohol abuse and you need someone to talk to for AAs and whatnot, get a hold of our Henry. Both of them are on Facebook. Henry Scholl. CUI or CIUL.
CIUL. That's okay. It's impossible.
CIUL. I want people to know. Henry Scholl. CIUL. Henry
CIUL.
So look him up on Facebook. He's on the Henry Schul show. And then you got Divine Order, Gina Adams. Divine Order, Gina Adams. And them are the people that will help you with things. We are the People's Podcast, and we're here for you. That's why we're here for you. And I appreciate you for tuning in and coming on. And may your night be full of positive energy and high vibrations. And thank you so much, Joe. You can find Joe anywhere at P.R.O 313 or P.R.O. SUBDAPRO. It doesn't matter how you put it in, it's going to pop up. It's either 313 or just the regular. Different platforms, different names, but it will pop up regardless.
Look, it's Brandon. So, yep, that's what it is. Google follow you. P.R.O. Follow me.
He also does shirts with logos on it and stuff like that. So
yeah, I did this last night. Like, that's why I was holding my beard up in my fucking little dog tag. I just did that last night. He ain't me, and that's something that everybody could wear. It's like I don't give a fuck who you're talking about. They and y'all. He ain't me.
Exactly. So I appreciate you all coming on, and Brittany, nice chatting with you. Thank you for watching. So appreciate everybody. Ashe.
Shout out to Antonio.
Yes, Antonio. Yes, Antonio. Antonio Carlos. He also does music, and he didn't send me music at this time because right now he's actually taking a break from it. But he's actually a really great lyricist. So if you guys,
I hear it in his voice because I didn't want to say nothing, but his voice reminds me of Terrence Howard. So he sounds like DJ from Hustle and Floating.
Oh man.
And then Beaver Swoop says, "Hey, good night, you
all."
Ashe, everyone.
Ashe, guys. Good night.
Namaste.